I have a really good family. We're happy together. Me and my sister, we get along. You know, we can talk to each other, we communicate well, we go out, we do things as a family should do. My financial life is taken off as well. I can now take the opportunities that are given to me. My love life as well, I'm in a wonderful relationship where there's understanding, there's love, there's care, there's kindness, something I never had in previous relationship, and it's never always been like that. I had an accident where I was in the back of a truck, and as I was going to the countryside, I was falling asleep, and the only thing I remember is when my eyes opened, the truck was on top of me. So because of that accident, I had pains for 6 years, and it was really, really bad because I liked dancing, and I remember I said I wanted to be a dancer. Years ago, I wanted to be a dancer. Not anymore. But and I remember every time I would do certain moves, I could feel the pain in my side. In regards to my financial life, I had immigration problems. So I was in the country for, I think at least 10 years without anything. So I missed out on many opportunities. And also in regards to my love life, before I came to the church, I was in a relationship where there wasn't any care, there wasn't any love. I remember someone at the time, the bishop at the time, would say, "Oh, those who believe that God can, can make you better, can heal you, come to the front." And I was still really new in everything. But I went to the front because I believed in that moment. I really believed. Until now, I believe, And I went there and someone prayed for me. And it was after that prayer that everything went. The pains I was feeling for so many years, it went. I started coming to the meetings also in relation to my love life that we have on Saturdays. I started coming to those meetings where you would learn how to be in a happy relationship, what is a happy relationship, and how you can actually be happy. I understood the importance of family, that family is something that is really precious. My advice for someone who might be going through immigration problem at the moment, and they're probably hiding, because sometimes when you hear the siren, they just think, "Oh my gosh, is it going to be me?" God help me to find a solution, because sometimes we realize that there's steps that you can take. Either it's to write to the Home Office again, but you have to persevere. You have to persevere. You can never ever think that, you know what, that's it, I'm going to give up. I attended meetings on Mondays, which was specifically for financial life. And through those meetings, I heard things that pushed me to take actions, to take steps. If a person, maybe you're right now struggling in your love life, think, I'm with someone and I can see that this person doesn't care for me, but I'm still with them because I don't want to be alone. There's no harm in being alone. The harm is when you're with someone and you're suffering. Don't put yourself down. If the person you're with is treating you badly, you don't have to go through that. Pick up yourself, have confidence, value who you are, because that's what I did.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. Now, if you are feeling empty inside you, you feel lost, you feel alone, maybe you can't put your finger on why you're feeling like this, but there is that space, that void inside of you, and you don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't know if you've gone through some sort of trauma in your past, an incident that took place in your life that has robbed you, taken away your innocence, that has made you into like a walking dead person, a zombie. It's like you're not living life anymore. Well, on tonight's topic, we're going to try to help you to fill that void, that space inside of you. You don't feel as though you are yourself anymore. Let's have a look at this quick video to find out more about tonight's topic.
Having a void in your life is describing the experience of emptiness somewhere. People have described the void as not knowing exactly who you are, what you feel, or not knowing what you want. It's like a dark, empty pit somewhere inside of you. There is a discomfort in psychological emptiness. It could be that there are a lack of feelings altogether, and this can lead people to wanting to feel something, which can even be pain through self-harm or seeking out abusive relationships. On the other hand, some people attempt to fill their emptiness with drugs, alcohol, work or food, so as to try to prevent their real feelings from being experienced. These substances trigger the reward centre of the brain, which inevitably leads to a relieving of symptoms from inner emptiness. For example, if someone has a deep-seated fear of loneliness and being alone, they may turn to food when they find themselves on their own. So in order to reduce the psychological pain, they start to eat. This becomes powerfully reinforcing and can very quickly develop into an addiction. But of course, filling a psychological emptiness in your life with a physical substance can't permanently help you discover and resolve the chronic, long-lasting emptiness that you're feeling. But once you recognise that you do have a void, your next step is finding a healthy and fulfilling way to deal with it, although this can seem like a scary or new thing to do. If you would like to talk to one of our advisors about filling your inner emptiness, then simply call Finding Answers on 020 7686 6300 or send us an email at help@findinganswers.tv. Alternatively, if you would like to talk to us via social media, then send us a tweet. Just start your tweet with @FindAnswersTV or search for Finding Answers on Facebook.
So that's tonight's program, and as Victoria said, there are people who tend to fill that void with alcohol, drugs, sex, or whatever the addiction or thing to fill, work even, to fill their time. And tonight I have Victoria with me. Hi, Victoria.
Hiya.
Now, there are some people that don't realize that they have a problem when they turn to these things, these habits, in order to kind of fill their time or that space or whatever what's missing from their lives. And if you don't recognize what you are going through, it can be destructive. Right?
Absolutely, especially if you are surrounded by people who have the same kind of habit. So say you're around people who are heavy drug users, you start to believe that that's actually the norm. Whereas everybody is obviously an individual and they'll be doing that because they each have their own emptiness. So obviously it's not as easy said than done, just giving up, for example, drugs or overeating or something. But if you do surround yourself by people who do the same kind of habit, then it is very difficult to recognise.
Yeah. Over the bank holiday weekend, we went to a special event called the Mind, Body, Spirit. And they were a lot of people, the types of people who go there look for an experience, a spiritual experience. And a lot of people who came and spoke to us, myself and my colleagues, on our stand, many of them are, they're very intelligent people. I would say some are even well off, but they're looking for an experience. They're looking to fill that void, that emptiness. There's something that's missing from them. And total strangers come up to us and say, this is what's going on in my life. This is what's going on in my family. And they're looking for an answer. That money, the money that they have, can't get. They maybe have a strong, close family, but yet they still feel empty inside. They have relationship problems. They can't keep a relationship for, a few years even. And yet they have this void inside of them. So I don't know. This may be your case. Maybe you have a well-to-do life, a good life, from other people's standards, the world's standards. But yet, with all that you have, you feel alone. You feel lost. There's something missing that you just can't explain. That spot, there is something that can fill that spot. I'll tell you later on what that is. Our guests for this evening are two sisters who had their own share of problems, and they're going to tell you how they had this emptiness, this feeling, this void inside of them. So if you want, stay with us because you're going to hear their story, all right? And Victoria, if anyone wants to contact us in any way, maybe want to speak to someone with regards to what they're going through, how can they contact us?
So you can call us at any point during the show. Our number is 020 7686 6300, or send us an email. Our email address is help@findinganswers.tv, or talk to us via social media. Send us a tweet. Just start your tweet with @FindAnswersTV, or search for us on Facebook. Just search for Finding Answers.
In the final part of our program, we'll have Jean-Luc Lafitte and Dawn Templeton talking about this topic, experts on this field, and they'll be sharing with us their experience as well. We're going to go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll meet our guests for this evening.
All systems are go. We're about to
steering killer drones. Aircraft missiles won't reach Syria for several months.
Introducing the Love Therapy website. Love Therapy can help you find true love and show couples how to enjoy happiness through a successful relationship. So why not click on the Love Therapy website for dynamic, interesting and useful tips on love. You can watch inspirational videos from happy couples sharing their experiences of maintaining relationship strength, and find out when the Love Therapy meetings are. If you're looking forward to a first date, then the Love Therapy website has 5 tips for that all-important first date. And why not sign up for the Love Therapy newsletter to receive the latest news and events postings? All you need at your fingertips. The Love Therapy website.
all systems are go. We're about to
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, tonight's topic is called Filling the Void. If at any time you want to give us a call, either live on air or you want to speak to one of my colleagues, give us a call. The number's on the screen. It's 0207 686 6300. Let's meet our two sisters for tonight. Their names are Louisy and Micheline.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Louisy, Micheline, welcome to the program.
Welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so both of you, though you were sisters, you went through, actually you're twins.
Yes.
You wouldn't think it, but who was first?
Me.
Yeah? Even though you were in the same household, you went through 2 totally different problems, and it had a big effect on both of your lives, right?
Yes, it
So, Louisy, gonna start with you? Micheline. Micheline. So, how was everything with you? Where did things start to go wrong for you?
I can say that I wasn't a typical teenager in terms of drinking, smoking, and so forth, but I had a lot of inner issues. From a young age, I was bullied, and the reason why I was bullied because I had a stutter. So this made me to have a very, very low self-esteem. So in school, people would call me names, And later on at home, I will just close myself up, and I will be very antisocial. So I would hate to be around people. So I would prefer to be on my own.
Was that something that you had all the time, or was it kind of developed?
No, it was since from my birth. I had a stutter, yeah.
And it was really bad.
It was
before.
really bad.
Tell us how it affected you.
In terms like I couldn't be able to speak in front of people. So, for example, I would never lift up my hand in class. I would always be this type of reserved person, and because of this stutter made me to feel different. Because people would say, "Oh, Micheline, why do you speak this way?" And it really caused me to hate myself in terms of having this stutter.
So when you say you started hating yourself, what did you do? How do you just think about yourself?
I would think like everything I do, I would always fail because of the way I spoke. So academically, I would always think that, okay, everything I do, I won't be able to achieve things and so forth. So I didn't set myself goals. I didn't have aspirations. So in life, you are born to excel. But in my life, I've just felt that everything I would do, nothing would happen.
So did it actually affect your grades in school, your marks?
Yes, it did. But I can say that I was always bright, but because I would always take in people's words, so it was like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I would behave in a way people would perceive me. So I won't say that.
Sorry to cut you. What were the type of things that these cruel children would say to you, your friends?
It's like I remember Louisy in school. I remember like in primary school. So they would say, "Oh, Micheline, why do you like It's just those little things that you would just stop and pause. It was really cruel saying that, Micheline, there is no point taking these exams because you would fail and so forth. So that is how it was.
Yeah. As you grew up, did that get worse for you?
It did get worse because I did notice that I had a very bad temper because I would always lash out. People would see me, Micheline, you are very quiet, but at home, I was completely different.
So who would you take it out on?
So I would take it out on Louisy.
Your twin sister?
Yes.
What were the type of things she would say?
She would just say, like, who do you think you are? Because she's the older one and I'm the younger twin, so she'll try to use her authority in a complete horrible way. She'll hit me for no reason. I remember she bust my lip open once out of just anger. I think I just asked her a question and she just went out. She lashed out completely.
And Louise didn't know that I actually envied her because she was more sociable, and I wanted to be like her. So
I had no idea at all.
So you never opened up. You didn't say anything to your sister or your family that this is what you're going through.
I didn't confide in anyone at all because I just didn't trust people because all my life people just thought I was this failure. So in school it was like that, and at home I just say, okay, these family members, we are different. So because actually it was me and my younger brother that had a stutter, but his one.
Your younger brother was actually on the program.
Oh yes, it was. Yeah,
weeks ago with me, right?
A few weeks ago, yes.
Dylan.
Yes.
Okay, and I noticed he had some similar to yours.
Yes,
but it was his worse as well.
It was worse, yes. No, it was
bad?
similar. It wasn't as bad as mine, but mine was much worse. But his one gradually changed through therapists and so forth.
Right. You didn't go for any therapy at all?
Therapist, yes, I did. Speech and language therapist,
Right.
But
even then you were angry.
Even then I was angry, so it didn't really make it
Now,
difference.
growing up now, you're becoming this teenager, a young woman. How did it affect you then? What did you start doing? Because I'm sure it didn't get any better.
No.
It got worse before it got better.
Yes.
So what did you start doing?
And start doing in terms of that, I would want to be loved. I wanted to feel loved and so forth. So it didn't get,
happens.
I wouldn't say
Yeah,
love.
love,
Would
but
you say more accepted?
appreciated.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the word. Yes, accepted.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would always somehow try to speak to people,
Yeah.
but
You try to befriend people.
yeah,
but
I
it
would
wouldn't
befriend
work.
people, but it just wouldn't work. It just like people would always put that barrier on Micheline. No, you are different. I don't want to be with you, and so forth. So
Yeah. Now you have, Louisy, your own story.
I do,
Yours is a
yes.
bit deeper, right? You had your own issues.
Yeah.
Tell us how did things happen for you?
So growing up, I had a lot of complexes. I had a lot of insecurities.
Why?
Because I was sexually molested. I was sexually molested by one of my female cousins. And at the time we were quite close. So it kind of really, it shocked me, it really hurt me. I wasn't expecting it. And because of this,
How old were you at the time?
I was, let's say, more or less 11, 12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's pretty young. And so when that happened, I really shut myself off. Like Micheline was saying, I closed myself, I didn't speak to people. And I was known to be like a kind and gentle, friendly person. However, when that happened, it completely changed my personality, my character. I put this barrier towards people. I only showed to them what I wanted them to see. I only told them what I wanted them to know. There was no more or less.
So you never told anyone what happened to you?
No, at the time, no way.
And when you would see this cousin of yours, how would you be?
Oh, it was so awkward. It was really, really awkward to the point that I would just like, when I see the person, I'll just go opposite directions.
No, this wasn't a male, this was a female.
A female, exactly.
So I don't know if that's bad, worse, or
I
what?
think it's worse in a way because it's a female and plus it's my own cousin, blood cousin, if you know what I mean. It really, really told the family because I started seeing other people. I started thinking like my other cousins were the same way, the same thing that, you know, she did to me. I would go through it with someone else. And yeah, it caused a lot of trust issues, hence why I had so much insecurities, complexes. I did not like the way I looked at all. I felt abused. I felt like I was used in a way. So yeah, that was one of my.
So being shut, you shut yourself away.
Yeah.
No one knew what was going on.
No.
Right?
I didn't know.
You didn't know. No. So you're probably looking to your sister and thinking, I want to be like her.
Yeah,
you're looking
exactly.
to her and thinking, I want to be like her.
Exactly.
But you both went through your problems.
Yeah.
Did that affect you in any way later on?
Yeah.
I mean, as time went by, as you got older, how did it get?
At school, at school was really bad. I went to school in South London. I went to secondary school in South London, whereas Micheline went to a school, in the city, girls' school. I went to a mixed school. I had guys coming to my face saying, you're ugly, you're this, you're unattractive. It was really, really harsh, like to see it, firsthand. And that affected me.
Was that because of your body language, the way you used to be, the way did you dress in a certain way because you weren't?
Yeah,
I
just didn't fit in. Yeah, I didn't have confidence. I just didn't fit in, and I was different from the other girls. I can say that. Since what happened to me, because of that, I just didn't care about my look. I didn't care the way I presented myself. I would come to school anyhow. Half of the girls there, put makeup on, do their hair, do their nails done, all this. I'll just come to school to learn. And the guys just thought, I was just useless, literally, yeah. That's how they perceived me.
So, did you, with all this, normally when we have guests on the show, on the program, talking about these type of things that happen to them, they normally have other issues. For example, they find it hard to sleep, they get depressed. Was that you? Any of you?
No.
Either of you?
Yes, I was depressed, but in terms of so what I would do basically, that I would self-harm myself.
Really?
So I would scratch myself, punch myself, and it was a way of me causing this pain that I had inside. I was a very bitter person, so no one knew that. So as I said, that as I was growing up.
Did you actually bleed when you
Yes, I would bleed. I would just put on my hair. It just, no one knew. So
I didn't know that.
And Louisy didn't know that. So this was inside our room, even though we shared a room. So I would wait until Louisy will go somewhere or go to the shop, and I will just quickly do that.
Would you would you use a knife or razor or just your nails?
No.
My nails. I would use my nails. So that is what I would do.
How would you hide it from the rest of your family?
Obviously, I would make sure that I will wear long sleeve tops.
So
and
no
so
one
forth.
knew at
No one
all?
knew. My mum didn't know. My other siblings didn't know at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and plus, and I actually realized that a lot of my friends as well, they would self-harm because I went to a girls' school as well. So
did you kind of see the signs? Did you kind of pick up
yes, I
what
could,
other girls
yes,
would?
I could, because I would see little lines underneath the shirts and so forth.
Did you ever open up to them?
No way. No way. They would to me, but I would never.
Did they realise what you were doing as well?
No, they didn't realise.
So you kind of hid it well?
I hid it away.
Right. What about yourself?
Oh, wow. Mine was really deep because, you know, like I said, I would go to school, and for the first time, the reason why I started wearing makeup was actually to hide the bags underneath my eyes, because I would cry myself to sleep. Literally, I would literally cry myself to sleep, and I'd wake up. I didn't want to face another day in life. And people didn't know that because, like I said, if you saw me, I was kind and cool and calm. Even the people insulted me, called me names, whatnot, I would also tell you, like, I don't care kind of attitude, but deep down, I really did care. And so I would go back home and I would cry, hoping that I just didn't have to face another day.
Yeah.
So that was what
So despite having family around, right, and your family were close?
Yeah,
I
we're
take
quite
it?
family orientated, yes.
Was Dad around as well?
Yeah.
So despite all of that, there was still this void,
Exactly.
this feeling inside of you.
Yeah.
Did you try to look for help in any way? For example, did you look for counselling or, I don't know, confide in friends or anything like that?
No.
Nothing?
No. Nothing at all. I didn't trust no one, not with my problems at all.
Did you, as the video we saw earlier, some people turn to alcohol or cigarettes or drink just to kind of forget their problems? I know, in your case, I know, could it be that you could have studied more, you kind of locked yourself away and read books, you know? Did you do anything like that, just to forget?
Yes, do you know, I would actually watch TV a lot. So during the night, we would just watch TV and I would...
Just be in your own
just
world.
in my own world, just forgetting about everything of what people thought, because, as I said, I would always replay it back in my mind over and over again. So watching TV is like I would forget about it and forget about the things
To be honest with me, I would think a lot. I just used to be in my own zone a lot. If you caught me, sometimes I'll be speaking to myself and people will be like, Louisy, oh my gosh, you're speaking to stuff. I'm like, oh, am I?
Wow, what would you say?
I'll just say, like, the voice, I just feel like there was like a voices in my head, like telling me things like, oh, you see, what's the point of living? And I literally utter those words in my mouth. I felt like it wasn't me, but yeah, I couldn't control, if you know what I mean, yeah. So
did you have suicidal kind of
I never
thoughts?
had the bravery to commit suicide,
But you
never.
had them.
But I had thoughts, yeah. I just didn't want to live anymore. I didn't see the point of living. I was really unhappy with the way life was going, so.
And all this, you both experienced at a very early age.
Yeah, very early.
Right?
And I would also fantasize about other people's life. I'll look at someone else and be like, oh, why can't I be like that?
Yeah.
Look at, and things like that.
Maybe this is you, right? How they're describing what they went through is you now. Maybe you could be in your teens, maybe you are in your 50s or 60s. And there is this feeling inside of you that you feel alone. Maybe you got a secret, a dark secret that you don't want to share with anyone else. And maybe you're self-harming. Maybe you've got a bottle of drink in your hand right now and you've stopped at this channel. And maybe this could be the cry for help or the sign that you can be helped. You know, this bottle of drink, these cigarettes, these drugs that you're taking, you know, putting yourself down. Maybe you're getting these thoughts, as Louisy had in her head. You know, what's the point? I'm nobody, I'm nothing. And you have these thoughts of killing yourself. Well, after the break, you're going to hear how both of these sisters, twins in actual fact, though they had different experiences in their lives, their early life, they are both happy today. They have both overcome this feeling, this emptiness, this anger, right? because of whatever happened to them in their past. If they could do it, if they found the answer, you can too. You just need to do what they did. So we'll be back after this, and we're going to find out how these two sisters filled this void. We'll see after this.
All systems are go. We're about to
They say that home is where the heart is, a place that should be filled with joy, security, happiness and memories. However, sometimes our own blood is the cause of most of our pain. Before you lose hope, try this. Every Thursday, come and pray for your family and receive the guidance and support that could help you all reconnect again. After all, no amount of success can compensate for a broken family.
Are you a duck? What can it do? It swims. It walks. It flies. But does it do them all well? Yes, a duck can do all of the above, but it's not known for being great at any. So, are you a duck? Rather than attempting to do all things, why not be the best at one thing at a time? You will find you'll actually learn to be great at more things. This is your UCKG timetable. We are open 7 days a week, helping you to make a new beginning. Monday, a meeting focused on achieving more in your financial life. Tuesday, prayers for healing. Wednesday, a meeting teaching you to develop in your spiritual life. Thursday, a special prayer for the family. Friday, a service for your spiritual deliverance. Saturday, Find the One, a service specifically tailored for your love life. Sunday, Reconnect with God, the main meeting for your spiritual strength.
Systems are go. We're about to
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, before the break, we spoke to twins Micheline and Louisy about the problems that they were facing with, that void, that emptiness inside. If you are going through anything like this, no matter what problems you have gone through, maybe you get the shakes, or when I say the shakes, I mean panic attacks. Maybe you are depressed. Maybe you are angry when you think about the person who abused you. And you feel alone, you feel sad, and you wish you could have that life you've had before, or you've never had before in your life. So they're going to tell us now how they are today, how their lives have totally changed today because of one thing. I'll tell you, they'll tell you right now. So, who's going to start first?
I'll start.
Okay, Louisy.
Yeah.
So, today you are happy now,
Yes, very.
right? You said before the break that you felt unattractive, right, because of the insecurities you had, people at school putting you down. How did things change for you?
So the beginning of my change was my mother was going to her church, and consequently she invited us. And at first,
Both of you at the same time?
Both of us at the same time,
Right.
yeah. And at first...
But sorry to cut you.
No, it's okay.
She didn't know what you were going through?
Not at all.
So just an invitation?
Just an invitation.
Come along, okay?
Yeah. And at first I was like, oh, Mum, you know, I'm not into church things anymore. It's okay, I'll pray at home, you know. Because I just didn't feel like there was any result to my life. There was no outcome, a positive outcome. But I went anyways, politely. But I told her, I'm going to go once and I'm never going to go again. I'm just going, you know, out of respect.
Mm-hmm.
However, I went to the church and wow, I really liked it. I remember the seminar that was going on, it was called No Negativity. And it really, really related to me. Like, they were talking about being positive and looking up and, you know, you can achieve goals and aims, all different kind of aspirations. I was like, wow, for the first time in my life, someone's believing me and they don't even know me, never spoken to me, don't know me from anywhere. And so
you're talking about the minister, the pastor, the preacher there, right?
The advice, yes, exactly.
Right.
And
so you sat down and spoke to that?
Yes, I did. I sat down, yeah. At that time, I didn't. I was just listening to one of the seminars that was going on. And then, because it was that great, I went and spoke to one of the advisors and spoke to on a deeper level, one-on-one. And for the first time, I actually spoke about my problems. I trusted them and spoke about my problems.
Not even your mum knew what you were
Not
going
even my
through.
mum knew.
So you went to a total stranger?
Yeah, total stranger.
Oh, and what did they say to you?
And they just told me to continue coming. There's something called a chain of prayer, where, you know, they're told to come consecutively for 7 weeks. And if you didn't see anything that was going to change at all, then you can stop coming, it's fine. I came for 7 weeks. I even saw changes, and that's hence why I continued coming even after this.
And then you said, look, come on and come in once,
Mum, yeah. Exactly.
What changes did you see in those 7 weeks?
You know, 7 weeks, I started to see, I was more positive. Honestly, I went to school. I'm normal Monday morning going to school, and people actually started making fun of me as usual, normal routine, and I just didn't react to it. I didn't even, what they were telling me, I didn't believe that I was like that. I was a bright student, you know. I wasn't as ugly as they perceived me to be, you know, when I did a little makeup, fixed myself here and there, and just small steps like that just completely changed how I looked at myself, and even the way people perceived me, to the point that they stopped calling me those names. They couldn't be bothered anymore because it just didn't hurt me anymore. And
how much did your faith and prayer play in your change?
Wow, it played a big role, to the point of, you know, I went to secondary school, finished secondary school with great grades. I came out with 10 GCSEs, A star to C. And even my relationship with my sisters, my family, I opened up for the first time. They heard about what I went through, where I never spoke to them about what happened to me. And then after, you know, studying and so forth, even in there was the youth group within the church. I had a talent. I used to like to sing, but I was always so shy because I thought I was never good. And I sang, and it was like, wow, people were so shocked, and it just really built my confidence.
You know what I'm going to say now, aren't you? Huh?
Oh, no, please. No, please.
You're going to sing?
Oh, my.
Can you sing something now?
Okay.
Let's hear your voice. Just something quick.
Okay. You shouldn't cut me in. Sorry. I'm not the sort of person who falls in and quickly out of love. But to you, I gave my affection right from the start.
Okay. Okay. We don't have time for that song, but that's very nice. Very good.
Thank you.
So you have a talent to sing?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Now, can you beat that, Micheline?
No. I'm more into books and studying and accounts.
So tell us then, how you came along as well?
As long as
the same day?
Yeah, the same day.
No negativity.
No negativity. And as the minister was telling us about the service, for once, the environment was very positive. So all my life, I went through a negative environment. And as what Louisy was saying, that for the first time, I actually sat down and I spoke to the pastor. And for once in my life, I just felt like there was hope, because like for many years in my life, I just thought like I wouldn't be able to mount anything, so forth. So I did speak, and he said, Micheline, obviously I did tell him my name. So and from then on, they told me about the Monday services because I wanted to achieve greatly in my career and finance and so forth, and on Fridays as well to overcome the negativity in my life. So from then on, I saw a change within me. I was much more positive in life, much more happier. I would smile. Back in the days, I would always be so grumpy. So coming to the help centre really changed.
So you also prayed as well?
Yeah.
Did you say you were going to go only once?
No? I was a mummy's girl, so wherever
you
my mum follow her.
So you were you were doing the chain of prayer as well?
Yes, I did.
How long afterwards did you see a change in you?
I can say that the change wasn't immediate, but rather I had to persevere and continue believing, and that is what that faith through the church they taught me about faith, even though I may not see it, but because of that belief, later on I will become the person that I have always wanted to be. And that today I can say that I look at myself, I literally love of who I am and so forth through the teachings of the church.
What is Micheline doing today with herself?
Micheline today, first of all, I am graduating this year, and it is in the field that I want, because later on I want to have my own business and so forth.
Right.
And yes.
Doing well?
Doing greatly.
And Louisy, what are you doing?
I'm not a singer, first of all. But yes, similar as Micheline, I'm in university and I'm working as well in the field that I want to get into, which is HR. So
okay. Yeah. Brilliant. Thanks for coming on and sharing your
story. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Now, you can see here, these two young ladies making it now in life. They have fulfilled are fulfilling their potential. They are moving forward. They no longer have this void inside of them. And you can too. But what is this? What is the secret? It is God. And no matter what you say about God, He is the same. No matter what people may think about Him, He is God. He can transform, change people's lives. But like I've said before, and I'll keep on repeating this, until it gets in. Maybe you're doubting God's existence. Maybe you say, where is God? Right? Why is there so much suffering in the world? And that's something that many people say. But then my question to them is, if there's so much suffering in the world, why don't you go and do something about it then? You're not going to change the world, but you can start with yourself. Your life can change first, and then you can be a good role model to the people around you, in your house, in your school, in your workplace. You can be a great example to others around you. And that's how, it sounds like a fairy tale, but that's how we're going to start seeing changes in the world, when we start with the people around us. And that's what God wants to do. He's not this miracle maker. He wasn't the one who brought about these problems in the world. But He wants to change individuals' lives. So instead of blaming God for your suffering, why don't you turn to Him and ask for His help, as every guest on this show has shared with us. No matter what problem they've gone through, they have turned to God. They learned how to use faith, which they had, but they had to develop it. Like you have faith, and you need to develop it as well in order to see change in your life. So if you want, at the end of the program, we will be praying as they did. Everyone on this program had to pray. They weren't experts. They didn't know what to say or do, but they learned. Today, they have, I would say, a relationship, a communion with God. It was something that had to be developed over time. But now they've learnt the secret. I could probably say that, yes, everyone knows who God is now, because they've got an experience to share with each and every one of us. And if you want your life to change, it starts with one small step, which is first prayer maybe. If you say, I've prayed a lot and I haven't seen any answers, then try this prayer that we'll be doing together at the end of the program. All right? After the break, we're going to have two experts talking about this topic for tonight. So we're going to go for a break and we'll see you after this.
All systems are go. We're about to All systems are go. We're about to
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, let's have a look at our special guests for this evening, Jean-Luc Lafitte and Dawn Templeton.
So, welcome to the programme.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tonight we're talking about filling the void. So, can you talk us through your backgrounds and how you have come to study this topic?
Yes, well, I've been a qualified counsellor working in psychotherapy for 13 years nearly, and I've worked a lot with all sorts of areas: anxiety, depression, panic attacks, stress, and eating disorders, and I'm also a couples counsellor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I originally started about 20 years ago. I was an auxiliary nurse in a very well-known hospital. And from there I went on and I trained as a chiropractor, doctor chiropractic. Also I looked at the fact that you need an emotional component, so I trained as a hypnotherapist. And there was a nutritional side, so I went and trained as a nutritionist.
Okay,
so,
quite broad.
Yeah, so I combined them. So you've got, if you combine them, you deal with the emotional, the chemical, and the physical side. So I thought, really to be treating not symptoms but the real problem. That's what you need.
So there are many ways that somebody can try and fill emptiness in their lives, but you two focus on eating, don't you? On emotional eating. So can you talk us through how somebody might fill the void or try to fill a void with food?
Yes. Food is provides a great sensation, doesn't it? Particularly chocolate, I find. And when I've worked with people who have struggled with food, whether they are either anorexic, bulimic, or whether they binge eat, which is another growing epidemic, sadly, in this country, what happens is that when they actually taste the food and enjoy the food, they often don't actually feel other stuff that's going on in their life in that moment. So they're so much in the moment enjoying the food and thinking about what they're going to eat next or what's in the fridge or what they're cooking later. They can forget their problems, basically. Some people use food, but other people can use alcohol, can use drugs. Women can use shopping.
Yeah.
There are lots of ways to fill a void, to fill an emotional void. The problem with it is that you can't solve an emotional problem with a physical action. It really needs to be, the void needs to be talked about properly.
So from your perspective then, is there a chemical reaction that happens when somebody's eating?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that happens is I ask people, why do you wake up, so early in the morning? Because it's something they always ask me. And basically what happens is that you wake up very early in the morning, normally 3 or 4 o'clock. I call it the witching hour. It's very, very common. The reason for that is that there's something called the circadian rhythm. And the circadian rhythm is a rhythm that organs have. Now, the liver has a circadian rhythm from about 2 in the afternoon to about 2 or 3 in the morning. And it needs a particular chemical to clean itself called glycogen. Unfortunately, when you're stressed, you burn this up. And the thing about being emotional too, people don't understand, is emotions actually use energy. The brain uses energy in the form of something called glucose. So what happens is the brain uses the glucose, and that time in the morning, the brain needs that glucose, and it doesn't have it because you've been stressed with all the emotion. And so it says to the liver, well, I want to convert some of that glycogen to glucose, and it doesn't have it. So it goes, what are we going to do? So it floods you with adrenaline and wakes you up.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us. That was really useful.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Why is God so important for our lives? God is a spirit, and we are made up not only of physical matter, not only a body, a physical body that you see. We have a soul, but also we are a spirit as well. And some of you may even think, yes, I can agree there's something supernatural going on. I have senses, I feel things. I've seen a spirit. I've seen a ghost in my room, right? I hear things, I sense things. If you do that, if you are into the paranormal, if you're into that, then you can understand what I'm talking about, because we're dealing with spiritual things. And God is a spirit. And the gap, that void, that emptiness, that cannot be filled by smoking, taking drugs, alcohol, partying, sleeping around, that temporary fix or high, in order to fill that space. It's not filled, but that gap is only for one thing, and that is God. If that gap is filled by God, then I tell you, your entire life will be at peace. You'll be happy, content. Even though everyone may say, you are no good, you are nothing. People may say to you, you are ugly, you won't make it in life. But when you have God with you, you don't hear, you don't pay attention to all those negative words or voices in your head, because you know who you are. You have God inside of you, the Spirit of God inside of you. And so I want to pray for you who say to yourself, you know what? I just want this feeling, this emptiness away from me. I want this gap filled. I want to experience peace. Maybe you've never experienced peace before, but you want this peace. Then this prayer that we're going to sing now, it's for you. Get your glass of water ready, because it's time for prayer.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer for your health and general well-being, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
My Lord and my God, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we have in this world many faiths, many religions, many things that many people are doing in order to find happiness, to escape the pressures of this world. But my God, nothing can fulfill or fill the gap that many have. So I ask you now, this gap can only be filled by you. There's a space there in each and every one of us that needs to be filled, and only you can do it. I ask you, my Father, you know this person, what they're going through inside them. If they are depressed, suicidal, angry, sad, bitter, my God, help this person to find you. Help them to experience just a little bit of peace, a little bit of your care and your love that maybe they haven't received, they haven't experienced from anyone else. My God, if there's anyone here who cannot sleep, anyone here, my God, who feels lost, who feels suicidal, their life is dark, they feel, my God, as though there's no help, then I pray as you are watching them now, come inside of this person, my God, and do what you do best, which is to transform lives, change them from nothing into someone, my God. So I bless this water now, and when this person will drink it, may a renewal take place. May this person experience what they've never experienced before. I determine this water is now blessed. Drink it and receive a new start, a new beginning in your life. In Jesus Christ's This gap, if you allow God to, He will start to fill it from this point onwards. If you couldn't sleep, you're going to start seeing a sign now. You're going to start seeing a difference tomorrow. In the next few days, believe me, God, He wants to do something great in your life. All right? Till the next time, have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.